Hey, good morning, guys. I know yesterday was a kind of a quick video, but we had so much going on around here yesterday, man. So many people just stepping up, trying to help, and it probably gonna be that way again next weekend. I got a lot of people wanting to come out and help. We got Benji out here rolling with me. That's my sidekick. He's down on the porch, making sure nothing gets me. Y'all can probably hear Ozzy in the background fussing because he likes to go in and out all day long, and if I don't let him back in immediately, he is going to try to interrupt this whole video. I'm going to command Satan to get out of that beast and leave my video. Um, but I kind of want to go through a little bit of the praises yesterday. There's the Traveling the Farthest Away award goes to Kimberly and Travis Dodwood. She traveled from far, far away to bust my chops for 2 days and tell me to get my head back in the game. And you know, we got to fight to win. And they just, her and Travis, or I think probably one of, let me let this cat in for me and him have words. And y'all won't want to hear that on the video. Thank you, sir. How you let him fuss like that, Benji? But so I was talking about Travis and Kimberly. So they were, and you know, back in the day, God was really working in my life, and then my wife had been so patient with me for probably, I guess, at that point in time, 15, 20 years. But anyway, when we started going to River Springs, that's where God really started working His magic. But Travis and Kimberly, according to Kimberly yesterday, were the two that drew the short straw and had to go talk to the new heathens that walked in the door. And then she was referring to me in Austin. And then she ultimately bowed out because she couldn't do it, so she got Travis to do it. But and ultimately we've built a relationship. My River Springs family, we just got a tremendous connection with all those guys. But and that's one of the things that I've kind of learned through this because, and we were talking yesterday about how you know, Jesus had his ministry for probably, and I know it's not like he just turned it on and turned it off for 3 years, but that's what I would consider to be the bulk of what he had going on. And but it was never his plan that they hung out together forever. He was equipping guys, and then they were to go forth. And so, you know, now Travis and Kimberly in Tennessee, me and Leah's in Kings Mountain. You got a couple of River Springs people that are still tying down the anchor. But, you know, Pastor Tim has been called to other things. So, I mean, that's what God wants us to do. He don't want us to just stay in one place and stagnate. Sometimes He does call us to stay in one place and be productive. But, you know, He wants us to go forth. So anyway, we've all, as I've noticed through this with my F3 brothers and people that I've worked with at DOC, River Springs, even my new, you know, Windsor Run family, you may drift apart, but you're still connected. You're still family. You're still friends. But, you know, it's been a good time to kind of reconnect with some of those people and realize that you never stop caring about each other. You know, we all just kind of get busy and consumed, but I'm really excited about trying to figure out a way to do this Zoom life group because, and I mean, me and Leah, and we, you know, we never walked away. I was in the Word every day for very long. I mean, I never stopped. But you can be in the Word, but still not necessarily be connected, and you know, it's just a thing you're doing. Yeah, I read the Bible today, but so anyway, Lee and I both are kind of looking to really dive back in and get something going. So we got some feelers out there and things, but I wanted to just kind of run through and I had a couple of F3 guys show up, man, and really help me with something that's been on my list since we moved in here. They moved a fire pit for us. They trimmed up a lot of limbs and stuff to where we can drive the trucks and tractors through here, and just cleared, and the birds are going nuts. But just cleared out a lot of, I don't know, they cleared out a half an acre, maybe a quarter of an acre of just really grown up brush, and just checking stuff off the list. And they're talking about coming back up next weekend to help with some things. My Windsor Run family's coming up next weekend to help with some things, and I'm really looking forward to being able to see some of them. But kind of, I shared the good news, and I think I told you guys it was kind of weird because I was still kind of hurting from the surgery. I'm still hurting from the surgery. Right now, my doctor just keeps reminding me that I had surgery and that I can't do certain things, and so he's kind of still put me out of work for at least 2 more weeks because of the surgery. And this week coming up, so tomorrow I don't think I have anything. Tuesday I've got I think it's an EKG Tuesday morning at like butt crack early, and then I start chemo classes. Evidently there's training involved with getting chemo, and then wind's picking up a little bit, but then Wednesday I've actually got all day chemo, and then kind of according to my doctor I can scratch the rest of the week. I won't want to do nothing too much. So right now I'm trying to kind of get a plan in motion, because my prayer is that that doesn't happen with me, and that I can still go and do on Thursday and Friday, and certainly by Saturday I'll be ready to rock and roll. My little sawmill man's out there just cutting his butt off, man. But anyway, praise to those F3 guys, and I'm gonna try to give him a shout out. Altar Boy was kind of like the ringleader. He brought up Phone Booth, Escrow, Smithers, Katniss. Let's see, Escrow, Phone Booth, Katniss, Altar Boy. It's one of the most insulting things you can do is to leave somebody out. I definitely ain't gonna Sand Dollar. He's just a great guy, and he's done so much more than just F3 with me and Leah over the years. But I'm not forgetting one, but I can't remember one. So does that mean I'm forgetting one? I'm not forgetting him, because Phone Booth, Escrow, Katniss, Altar Boy, Smithers, Sand Dollar. Okay, that's six. I got them all. But they came up, man. They busted it up, and luckily, by the grace of God, my neighbor had brought chili over, and so I was able to offer them guys some chili, even though them F3 guys don't go nowhere without taking food. That's what they do. They burn a lot of calories and they take in a lot of calories. Sometimes the balance ain't right when you got people like Slim Jim, and you take in more calories than you burn. But most of those guys are able to burn as many as they take in. And that crew yesterday could have had 8 or 9 bowls of chili, I believe, and been all right. And then, of course, Travis and Kimberly, like I said, man, they traveled, 6.5 hours and stayed for a couple days. And just which when this first happened and I first got the news, Leah reached out to 2 people, Travis being one of them, because she said, if anybody is going to get Kevin's head back in the game, I got to let Jimmy and Travis know. Jimmy mostly because I needed to relieve a lot of anger, get rid of a lot of anger, and it would probably have been at Jimmy's expense. And then Travis just to encourage me and lift me up and get me back in the game and remind me of whose I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. And then, of course, it was Austin's birthday, man. So Austin was up here, and he had a couple friends up here. My dad and his wife, Joanne, came up, and just love seeing them. Rob came up with them. So, we the day before, Chris and Jennifer and Elliot and Connor were here, so we had a real good time with them. Jennifer and I were we didn't spend a lot of time in the scripture or anything, but she shared some stuff with me yesterday morning, and I kind of glazed over it yesterday, but it really did resonate with me. It was a little more in-depth commentary excerpt on some of what I had read in Job, but it really gave me a little bit of clarity about how, at the end of the day, this may bring to light some gift or some talent that I'm able to have that I didn't know for Christ, and we'll see how that looks. So yeah, a lot of praises for yesterday, man. And was able to circle up with the F3 guys. At the end of every workout, we used to kind of come together in a ball of man, and we would kind of, give God some burdens that we are called to give them to Him. So we were able to share a lot of things that are going on. Of course, they prayed for me and the family, and they really picked up the kids because they get forgotten in this a lot. I mean, of course, I don't forget my kids, but I mean, everybody is lifting me up and praying for me, and they're praying for Leah. And a lot of times, the kids are wearing it harder than anybody. So we were able to lift them up. And I think yesterday was a good day. I think the birthday went great. We were able to drive into town and actually kind of enjoy a meal, and then come back here and have cake and all that stuff. I probably had too much cake. I shouldn't have had that much cake. But yeah, that's one of the things I got to get better at is saying no to the sweets. Yeah, that's gonna be an ongoing battle for me. It always has been. But yeah, we just had a great day, and then of course Travis and Kimberly had to get out of here, and they're getting on the road early this morning. So, Jimmy and Davey came up yesterday and brought the boys. And if you've spent any time with me and Leah, we raised 3 kids. We're used to a house full of clamor and talking and laughing and doing and so it was fun. It was a special treat to have the boys here. And I think Jimmy was trying to get back at me because of the artist rendition that I released on the internet. Evidently he's getting a little blowback from that. I hate it for him. I thought it was just a crazy likeness, the image. I thought I did an excellent job. And Kimberly's going to keep busting my chops, and I'm probably going to do an artist rendition of her as well. I have learned through this that I can deal with my anger through artistic release. So that may be my thing now. Is I may draw when people, I may draw portraits of people. That may be what I do. But anyway, so yeah, they brought the boys up, and so there was this like squishy ball thing, and I think it was deep down in Jimmy's heart that they were going to bust that ball in my house and get it all over everything. But I serve a mighty God, and that ball, they would go up to the 3rd level in the loft and just throw it to the floor, and it would just go boop, but they couldn't bust it. So we kept that at bay. But no, those boys had a good time, I think, and we love having those guys always. And it was weird because yesterday when F3 got here, it was cold as a lot of times I say down here in the South, but cold as a well digger's behind. I think it was 31 degrees when they got here, and they went right to work. So 31 degrees, and then Jimmy and them got here after lunch a little bit, and it was warmer, and darn, they didn't see a snake down at the creek. I'm like, what's going on with him? I kind of take a lot of joy in the fact that they ain't back out yet. But evidently, here we go. So yeah, they saw a snake yesterday, and there's a lot of different opinions on that snake. Me and a couple other people think it could have possibly been a copperhead. Of course, my wife thinks it was definitely a non-venomous water snake, and it could have been. It really could have been. But anyway, so y'all be careful. They already coming out, and it ain't time for them yet. So I think I kind of covered all of that. Of course, today I think today's going to be a nice quiet day just with me, Leah, and the kids. So we'll probably do like a little continuation birthday, love on Austin a little bit. He's 26. And just spend some time together today. And then, like I said, I got a busy week coming up. But I did want to, because I still hadn't really landed on anything to study per se. So I thought that maybe we could just read out of James 2 and just kind of see what we think about that. And maybe you guys can dig into it on your own a little bit, because like I told you, I love James, I love Paul, I love Timothy, and I like even digging into the Old Testament. I like First and Second Samuel. There's just so much in the Bible that I love. But anyway, James 2 starts out here. It says, "My brothers, hold your faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ without showing favoritism. For suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring, dressed in fine clothes, and a poor man dressed in dirty clothes also comes in. If you look with favor on the man wearing the fine clothes, so that you say, 'Sit here in a good place,' and yet you say to the poor man, 'Stand over there,' or 'Sit here on the floor by my footstool,' haven't you discriminated amongst yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts?" And I mean, of course, the answer to that is yes. And I don't think it just applies to people's clothes. It goes so much deeper than that, right? There's so many things now that people are judgmental about. Color, race, everything, status. I mean, we're just so tied up in, I know a lot of you hear the phrase, keeping up with the Joneses and all that. But he basically is telling us here that we need to be better than that. Obviously, and I love kind of referencing this idea, but back in the day, and I got to give Jimmy a little credit. I guess maybe I heard this in a sermon that Jimmy did or something, but they talked about how Jesus didn't go to the kings and the thises and the that's. I mean, he talked with and they referenced the tax collectors, like they were even worse than sinners. But they most of them, I guess, were sinners. They were rigging this and rigging that and doing a bunch of things. But anyway, so we're kind of called to do the same thing. We got to be better than that. We got to look past all that. I particularly love people that aren't like me. That's like one of my favorite things is to talk to somebody that's different. So he goes on to say, "Listen, my dear brothers, didn't God choose the poor in this world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom that he has promised to those who love him? Yet you dishonor that poor man. Don't the rich oppress and drag you into the courts? Don't they blaspheme the noble name that you bear? If you really carry out the royal law prescribed in Scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. If you are doing well, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You are doing well. But if you show favoritism, you commit sin and are convicted by the law as transgressors. For whoever keeps the entire law, yet fails in one point, is guilty of breaking it all. For he who said, 'Do not commit adultery,' also said, 'Do not murder.' So if you do not commit adultery, but you do murder, you are a lawbreaker. Speak and act as those who will be judged by the law of freedom, for judgment is without mercy to the one who hasn't shown mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment. For whoever keeps the entire law, yet fails in one point, is guilty of breaking it all. For he who said, 'Do not commit adultery,' said no." So, I mean, at the end of the day, if we love a lot of our neighbors, but we're judgmental and don't love one, then we don't love any. So I guess that's my takeaway for today. And I've often said, especially when I was talking to a group of guys, man, anger and pride will keep you out of the kingdom quicker than anything. Because I think the root of all evil, that's just like with a lie. A lot of people are like, well, it's okay to tell a white lie if you're not going to try and hurt somebody. I'm like, no, because it just seems like one lie leads to another lie, leads to another lie. And do I lie? Yeah, I'm sure I do. I have the worst memory in the world. A lot of times I lie unintentionally. And that's why I tell you, my mom, one way we figured out a long time ago to get out of lying is sometimes comment or say something when you can. But yeah, I'm sure I lie. I try not to. Um, but at the end of the day, because I know how destructive they are, and I think pretty much all sin, in my opinion, seems to start with a lie. That's what it seems like to me. Get them, buddy. Get them. Tell them they about to trespass. Run them away. But so anyway, I just want to kind of be mindful of today what we read in James. We're called to love our neighbor, not to pick and choose the ones we love, and that goes within race, creed, beliefs. Jesus didn't preach to the saved and the holy. He looked for those lost sheep. Um, he went to the ones that were sinners, and so don't be afraid to meet new people and do new things and invite some difference into your life. Um, and I guess, man, this has gone on a lot longer than I thought it was. Um, so today, as we be better together, and I'm still not drinking coffee yet. I got called out on that too. Uh, I'm pretty sure I put a disclaimer out in one of them videos earlier when they diagnosed me with pancreatitis. I kind of got away from. I did have, like, the first day, I think I had a cup of coffee, but then through time or whatever. So I haven't drank coffee, really since. Now I have had coffee flavored protein drinks a couple mornings, and a couple mornings it's water. We'll get back to coffee, but I'm really scared because with everything that went on, and now having the lymphoma, getting ready to start chemo, pancreatitis, and so I want to definitely get that under control. With a pancreas is a funny thing, man. It a lot of things can offend your pancreas, so I'm trying to really get my diet in check. I think pancreas is okay with sugar. Cancer don't like the sugar, so we're gonna keep working on the sugar. Because yesterday, man, my my dad's wife Joanne made this cake for Austin's birthday. Austin's favorite is red velvet cake and cheesecake. So I don't know if he asked for a red velvet cheesecake, or if she just said, I'm gonna combine his favorite too. But it was like a layer of red velvet, and then in the middle was a legit cheesecake, not cheese flavored cake. It was a cheesecake, and then more red velvet and the cream cheese, and it was probably one of the best things I've ever put into my mouth. And I've put a lot of food in my mouth, people. I'm telling you, if I give something a thumbs up, it's noteworthy. Austin loved it. We all loved it. Everybody's like giving Joanne their name, and Kimberly's like, you can mail one of these to Tennessee next year on my birthday. And me and her are both Libras, and left-handed. That's why we are just brilliant people, and tremendously amazing to be around. Because left-handed people, in September, left-handed Libras, and are just amazing people. So shout out to all you guys out there. But anyway, so Joanne's got a whole list of people she's got to make birthday cakes for next year. But anyway, I should have dropped a peg on that deal. I don't know where I'm at with that, but just at the end of the day, you guys really just be better together. Love the people around you. Help them when you can. Because I'm going to tell you, man, when you're down and out and people do it to you, it's just amazing. I could not be where we are today, but yeah. So we're still getting through the pancreatitis. I think we're in a much better place with that. I have a lot less pain. I did have real bad abdominal pain 2 nights ago, but I don't know if that was because it could have been the fire in my belly from. I don't know if it could have been the cancer, it could have been the surgery, it could have been the pancreas. But the last 2 days, pancreas, that kind of thing, has felt a little better. So, man, I'm looking at a great day today. Maybe me and Leo get out and walk around the property here and just be in awe at what all got done yesterday by a group of guys that just wanted to be the hands and feet of God. And before they left, they were helping me with my list. They were like, well, we need to do this next time we come out. And John, what do you think about doing this? And let me do this. And He's just amazing people, man. And but anyway, just like I said, just remember, God calls us that we're not to be the judges. That's His job. We're just to do what He calls us and just love everybody we can, and love them for what makes them different. I mean, that's the most interesting thing in this world, man. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to you guys for supporting me in this. And I'm going to continue to pray today for our lesson, but it might be that we just kind of finish out James and then we see where we go from there. I'm looking at the birds. They have eaten every bit of seed out of everything we got hanging in the trees, so we're going to have to put some stuff out for them because they're going to get angry soon. But anyway, guys, this is going to be a beautiful day. Jimmy's getting ready to fire off a sermon today. I'm going to try to see if we can link in with that somehow, because me and Kimberly came to the realization yesterday that Jimmy does his sermons. And Jimmy, if you got time, I know he's hitting the road today. He's got some real good stuff going on this week, so he may be hit or miss on helping get these videos out this week, and that's okay. We'll give him a pass because he's where he needs to be doing what he needs to be doing. But Kimberly and I found out that we can live comment on Jimmy's sermons, and it's been brought to my attention that nobody busts Jimmy's chops like me and Kimberly did. So since we left River Springs, Jimmy's, so he's long overdue. So maybe we'll be able to chime in on a couple things or something. But if Jimmy can put some kind of thing at the bottom, y'all can kind of check out his sermons, because he does really do a great job. And he had one, and I told him that I wanted to talk about it in one of my videos, where he talked about this story where, in a nutshell, and I don't remember who or what, but there was two battles between these two tribes or kingdoms or whatever it be, and the one attacking army prayed to God to make the sun stand still, so that they could just continue to lay the hammer to their enemy. And God's like, okay. So they had like a 24-hour day where the sun just sit there and they just beat these dudes down. And I think Jimmy referred to it as a audacious faith. And I told him that, I struggle with the big words sometimes. So it might just be, my mind might be, when I rip this from Jimmy's pages and plagiarize the whole thing, it may be called just a really big faith. But anyway, that was a story that I always enjoyed. And it spoke to how God, just like in my situation, I mean, in the beginning there was no hope. And I was praying for these little things. I'm like, well, God, if you give me peace, if you just let me learn how to die, if you'll give me peace and you'll do this for me, I'll meet you in the middle. And then, after a couple of days, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, he made the sun stand still. He can take this away from me. So then I reminded myself that God is still in the miracle business, and I started asking for the big ones, and He just kept delivering, man. He gave me everything I asked for through this whole deal. When I needed peace, to understand how, I could move from this world to that one, He gave it to me. When I needed financial peace for my family, when I need everything I asked for along the way, because you guys really were a big part of it too, He gave it to me. And then at the end, He gave me the big pass, the big miracle. Because there's a chance through chemo and a lot of trial and hard work that this thing can go into remission, or at least this thing can go into a point where I get 4 or 5 years. And man, I'd much rather die at 56 than 51. So anyway, you guys have a great day. I love each and every one of you. I really hope y'all are able to get in the Word and kind of pick up on some of what we talked about and take it to the next level. And hopefully we can do some live chatting to Jimmy and maybe point out some things he says wrong or something like that. And I'm sure he'll love that. But anyway, I love each and every one of you guys. I hope God be with you today and God bless you. And we'll talk again in the morning. God bless you guys.